Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Brooke Rowell. Alright, it's Christmas morning. If you watched the live stream this morning, you saw that I unboxed all my Christmas presents during the live stream. And one of the things I got from my mom was a really cool Kinetic mobile that I'm going to put out in the backyard. You may recall I've already got a Kinetic mobile out in the backyard and I've enjoyed that a lot. And this one's going to be really cool too. And let me show you what this one looks like. All right, this is the thing here, and basically it looks like a metal tree, but it has all these sculpted bluebirds that are attached to it, and they're set up in such a way that when the wind blows, the whole thing spins. And so this thing's going to look really, really cool in the backyard. This is sort of this is one of the things I asked for Christmas. My mom asked me what I wanted, and I said, you know what, there's that really great garden store near where she lives called Green Acres in Folsom. And I said, you know what, if you could find me some kind of cool yard sculpture or something like that, that would be really great. And she loves to be able to get me something that, you know, isn't just an Amazon gift card. So, you know, the idea of something like that really kind of appealed to her. And this is the thing that she found. And I wasn't really sure what it was. I knew I was going to get some sort of a yard sculpture, but had no idea what it was. And when I opened this thing up and looked at the picture, I said, oh man, that thing looks really cool. And then as I looked closer, it became clear that the whole thing spins. So today's project is we're going to put this thing together and we're going to get it out in the yard. So these are all the pieces right here of the sculpture I've got. It's got basically this little spike that goes into the ground and kind of holds it in place. Then it has a couple of poles that raise the thing up off the ground. And actually this piece in the middle here, this is the thing that the bird pieces go on. And this thing's on a bearing, so it will spin as the wind blows. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting this thing together and seeing what it looks like. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. I'm very excited. Now there are 7 of these little bird pieces here. 2 of the little ones in the back, 2 medium ones, 2 large ones, and 1 really large one. So what you do, according to this, is you have the small ones on the bottom and top, and then as you move more towards the center, they get larger and larger, and then the biggest one is in the middle. Now I'm not sure if you can only assemble it that way, or if I could experiment, but initially I think I'm going to build it the way it's shown in the picture. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to get the main post into the ground, because everything's going to kind of build up on top of that. And you need to really be able to start with something that's level and perpendicular to the ground in order to make this work right. So I'm just going to kind of drive this into the ground here. Like I said, I got my level here, so we're going to make sure we're going into the ground so everything is nice and level here, because these things work best if, you know, everything's perpendicular to the ground. You get it a little bit offset and it doesn't always spin right. I'm just using a rubber mallet here because I don't want to damage this thing in any way. I'm also dealing with the fact that the ground is really hard here. But I think we got that pretty good. How are we looking? Yeah, we're pretty level here. I'm going to tweak it a little bit here, make it get it perfectly level. But I think that's going to do it for me. So now there's also a cross piece that provides a little bit more stability for this piece, so it doesn't move around. It's going to drive 2 more spikes into the ground, and I'm going to go get that piece and we're going to put that on next. And that's this piece here, and that just slides over the top, and we're going to drive that into the ground. I want to make sure I get everything lined up properly here. And then we're going to kind of start that off. Okay, ground isn't as bad as it could have been. I am going to still use, I think, the hammer to drive that down. Okay, nice and sturdy. So that's that first part. We got the main post in the ground. Now we're just going to build it up from here. Now next I'm just going to screw this piece on. This is just an extender. It raises the height a little bit. I've known sometimes to get these things and they're really cheap. This thing seems to be really well designed. So hopefully this thing will last a while. I'm going to get it in there just nice and finger tight. And there we go with that. So this is the piece with all the bearings on it. And basically this is just going to screw onto the top of this thing. Yeah, see, this thing's going to be tall. I love that. Like I said, all the bird pieces go on there, and then this thing spins, and this is what allows it to rotate around. So first thing I got to do is just slide the piece on there, and then there's a little screw that goes into each one of these. It came with a little screwdriver in case I need it. That's one. Then we're going to move on to the next size. And finally the last one. And that's how that thing's going to look. Get a little wind out here, and that should look really cool. Now there's a little cap piece that goes on the top, and I think that's in my pocket here. So that's this thing, and that just kind of screws onto the top. Provides a little decorative ornamentation on the top. It also kind of keeps the water from getting into the bearing, and if the bearing gets rusty, then this thing isn't going to spin very well. But there it is. That's the final product. That's going to look really cool in the yard, right? So it's already spinning a little bit. There's not a whole lot of wind here. I was thinking when I first started filming this scene, it's like, oh good, the wind chimes are going. That means there's a little bit of a breeze here. Maybe we'll get a little action on this. But of course, the moment I get it finished, then that's when the wind decides to stop blowing. But ultimately what will happen is when the wind goes, this thing will spin around. And yeah, like I said, I love these kinetic sculptures, and I've always been, someone who really enjoyed birds. So, and the color blue is great. It looks great with the yard. So this is going to be a great addition to the yard. I like having this thing, and this was a great present from my mom. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting a little bit of a breeze blowing through here. But that's what it's supposed to do. Now I suppose this thing will go really fast if we start getting really, really windy. But like I said, I think this looks really cool. It's going to be a great addition to my yard. And I am grateful for my mom because this was a good choice. So I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.